Ladies and gentlemen, how are we? I believe we are live, but still waiting for some people to jump on. So I'm not going to talk to myself just yet. I'm going to wait till some of you people jump on. I just tried to do a live, but I messed it up. There we go. There we go. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all had a great weekend. Not a bad weekend for me. Obviously, no UFC to watch, which made a nice change, actually. Obviously, the UFC will be back in action this weekend. Giga Chikadze taking on Kelvin Cater. I'll be commentating that one. Then we've got the big pay-per-view the week after. But if I start losing my mind or I start getting a little bit too sleepy halfway through this live, it's because... Move that. It's because... my mum was taken into hospital at the weekend, and she's getting older. Do you know what I mean? So we were very, very worried. I was very worried about her last night. So then I took a sleeping pill at like 2:00 in the morning, and I am still very, very drowsy. So there you go. That's what's going on there. Fortunately, my mum's okay. Turns out appendicitis. Yeah, so they took out the appendix with keyhole surgery. She's recovering. All good. All good. So there we go. A little scare there. You never know, dear. So, well, thank you, Brian. Says, I hope my mum pulls through healthy. Yeah, she's a tough old one. Mother Bisping, let's be honest. She's a tough as old boots. She raised 6 of us. Obviously put up with my dad for a long time as well. So, yeah, it'll take more than dodgy appendix to take her out. But she's resting up right now. She's still unconscious. But it was a little scary there for a moment because you never know. You never know, when you hear your mother almost, she's pushing 80. She's having chills and she's got terrible pain in her sides and stuff. You never know what they're going to find. It could have been cancer or all sorts. But as I say, just the appendix, which apparently is, you don't even need. The appendix are a part of the body which, from what I understand, left over from millions of years ago when the human race was evolving and when we used to eat when we were foragers, when we were hunter-gatherers and used to eat more plants, I believe. Well, that's according to Charles Darwin. So don't start on me. Rahul Singh, how are we, mate? Yeah, she's good. Thanks, buddy. Says, how we doing today? Appendix sure is a hassle. My mum went through it. Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. I did a little wrap-up video at the weekend. Sorry, yesterday. That came out this morning. So that covered some of the topics, but there's still a lot of stuff going on in the world of MMA that we can talk about. But I'm here to answer your questions as well. Who hit me the hardest without KOing me? That comes from Bruce Summers. Who hit me the hardest without KOing me? I mean, sadly, I did get hit quite a few times throughout my career. I always make the same joke and say, look, I used to be a somewhat good-looking guy back in the day. A lot of scars these days, a lot of injuries. But one of the hardest that immediately springs to mind was when I fought Dennis Kang. Dennis Kang, I fought him at UFC 105. Oh, no. What am I saying? Not Dennis Kang. I'm getting confused. Yoshihiro Akiyama. Sexy Yama himself. If any old school MMA fans are on here. Sexy Yama, yeah. So I was fighting at the O2 Arena in London. And this is how it always goes. Always goes down like this. You're there, you start, and then boom, he came out. He cracked me with the right hand. And this is the part that I mean, it always goes down like this. When you get hit hard, there's a huge flash of light. You just hear this ringing, and there's a flash of light. And then all of a sudden, you're like, you slowly come to, and you're like, where am I? It's like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. I'm in the fucking octagon. I got to dance around a little bit, buy some time, and then recover. And then that slowly dissipates. You kind of get your wherewithal back. There's been times I remember I've been like, where am I? And I'm looking around. I'm like, who are all these people? Because you're out of your mind. There's certainly been a few of those, unfortunately, when you get cracked with a good one. But you got to have a good poker face. Because if you let your opponent know that you're hurt, they're going to swarm all over you. So you got to try and hold it together, get on your bike, use your footwork, dance around, and then recover and go back in. But yeah, sorry to hear about your mum. Happy face says, thank you very much. I don't know, I have a way to touch base with no social media, but I wanted to take a moment and ask you to check out my last video. I'm a graphic designer and a producer. Well, happy face. I'll be sure to do that. Does Callum ever train with Silver's kids? Silver, as in Vanderlei Silver, as in Anderson Silver? Not to my knowledge. No, they don't have a relationship. How close have you worked with Scott Adkins and Michael Jai White? Yeah, I did. I did a movie called Triple Threat. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out with Scott Adkins and Michael Jai White. Two great guys, two of the best martial arts actors on the planet. Two of the best guys that we currently have right now. Great guys. Scott is the hardest working man in show business. Never bloody stops. Constantly on a new movie. Throw us a bone, Scott. What the fuck, man? I ain't doing much. And Jai White, same thing. Both great guys. The ability that those guys have in terms of their kicking prowess really is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? I can throw good kicks, but the kicks designed to hurt people. They throw kicks that look amazing on camera. I mean, Scott Adkins and Jai White can fly through the air for big men as well, because both of them are pretty decent sized men. Michael Jai White's pretty huge, a lot of muscle. Same as Scott Adkins. They're both my size, if not bigger, and they are very explosive. So yeah, no, great working with them. Who was I most nervous to fight? Good question, Sugarcane. Who was I most nervous to fight? I mean, the reality is that most times you're always nervous. You're always nervous going into a fight. Not necessarily nervous about the fight, but you're nervous about winning or losing. You're nervous about losing in front of your people. You know, and a lot of the time I fought in England, that is an extra pressure that you don't really need. You know, and a lot of people coming to watch you and tremendous pressure. And obviously, if you lose, you're going to look like a fool. And in our business, generally when you lose, it's painful. So, yeah, I was always nervous, but you want an answer? The second Dan Anderson one, I was pretty nervous because obviously the last time I stepped in an octagon with him, I got knocked the fuck out. That's all in quitters never win, if you want the full story. I want to join a boxing gym, says White Dom, but I have bad social anxiety. What do I do? I'm on Prozac and Valium for it. Can I come off as rude? No. Well, listen, mate. Well, good luck with what you do. Social anxiety. I mean, yeah, it's a weird thing. Some people really do have crippling anxiety. So I wish you all the best on your journey, Dom. Just do it. You got to do it, man. Just throw yourself in at the deep end. Generally, you'll find it's not that bad. You know, I mean, I don't know your situation. I don't know you from Adam, but normally these things we amplify it in our minds. We think it's worse than what it actually is. You know, just you got to bite the bullet. You know, bite the bullet, do it. Just say, you know what? Set yourself a target, set yourself a goal or a day and say, that's the day that I'm going to go in there to the local boxing gym. It can't be as bad as when I went to a local boxing gym. I remember I used to go to Sandygate Boxing Gym in Burnley. And this is way back in the days before I'd even discovered what mixed martial arts was. And I knew I wanted to be a fighter. So my goal back then was to be a professional boxer. So I went into Sandygate Boxing Gym in Burnley. And I walked in there. And people looked at me like like I took a piss in their cornflakes or something. And there was some guys sparring, and I wanted to join in. And I used to be a kickboxer, so and I used to be a fighter, and I did martial arts as a kid, so I knew what I was doing. And I was, not one of the smaller guys, so it was definitely a baptism of fire because I got in the ring, and those guys tried to fucking kill me. Tried to kill me, but they didn't. And I think they were surprised when I walked back in on the next day. I came back the next day and they were like, oh, okay. And then from there, everything was good. But for you having social anxiety, mate, just do it. You got to do it. Unless if you go in there, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're not going to try and beat you up. I went in there as a former fighter, as a kickboxer. They're like, oh, we got a fucking kickboxer here. Let's put him in his place. But for you, just join your local gym. No one's going to come after you. Nothing bad is going to happen. You might feel a little bit awkward in your head, but no one else is going to give a damn. No one else is going to care. They just say, oh, here's another guy that's coming to start training. So, it's always, you always make a bigger deal out of it in your own mind. How can I watch your movie Bisping? Well, it's not released yet worldwide. It did release in Canada because one of the TV stations in Canada, Super Channel, they partly financed the movie. So that is available in Canada. But the release is coming very soon, in about the next 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. So thank you very much for the interest. Brilliant movie, by the way. If I do say so myself, of course. Vin Diesel's in it, Mckee Rourke, Michael Jai White, Scott Adkins, who we were just talking about. Who else? There's a lot of star power. Loving the vids might make me laugh when people troll you and you just laugh about them. All right, here we go. Would you give a shout out to my mate? I need semen, please. I mean, come on. Too obvious, mate. If you're gonna get me good. And I kind of like it. As long as some people come out with some racist bullshit, which I don't like at all and do not tolerate. But trying to trick me with some stupid little rude names. Yeah, come on, bit of fun, bit of a laugh. Yeah, and I do laugh. When the penny drops, come on. I'm not an idiot, but I never said I was the sharpest out there. When the penny drops, I do laugh. Who's your favorite fighter to interview post-fight? Oh, good question. I'm not sure. I do love going in there and getting to speak to the fighters. Saturday, I'll be doing that. It's a great moment, It really is. I do enjoy that, and it's amazing for me to think that I'm in that position. I remember back in the day, when Joe Rogan or whoever it was would ask me questions. I never in a million years thought that I'd be doing that, but there we go. It's a funny old world, isn't it? You never know where this path is gonna take you. Would you rather see Nate versus Tony or Nate versus Poirier? I mean, I want to see them both. They're both great fights. I don't really favor one over the other. Dustin's a little more current right now. Obviously, he just lost the world title attempt to Oliveira, but Dustin Poirier is having a bit more success recently, where Tony is, he's on a little bit of a downslide. But I spoke about this recently. When you look at his the people that beat him, it's not that bad. They haven't aged badly at all. Dariush, Oliveira, and Gagey. So no shame there. Reese Adams says, hey, Bisping, big fan. How's life after the UFC? Do you keep yourself active and what have you got going on? I do. I keep myself very active, very, very active. In terms of activity, what did I do this morning? I did a 4-mile hill run by my house. I'm very lucky. I got some like a trail and some woods and stuff by my house. And there's a lot of hills. Excuse me. I've got fake knees and I shouldn't really run, but my doctor said he did them extra tight, whatever that means, and I'm okay to run. So I do run, but because of the hills, it's very slow. It's not a fast pace at all, but I am going up steep hills. So I still get that cardio push and release the endorphins without putting too much pressure on the knees. But and then so I did my 4-mile run, then I came back and I did shoulders and biceps. It's a Monday. Got to get those biceps pumping. Shoulders and biceps today. Tomorrow, I'll do something similar. I'll do some form of cardio to start. I know before people start who are in the know, oh, you should separate those. You shouldn't do them together. But I'm a busy man. I don't have time necessarily to always do 2 sessions. Tomorrow, chest and trap. Wednesday, back and tricep. Thursday's legs, and Friday, all body. But I'm going to get down into Ruka. The Ruka gym. Got to hit some bags this week. I haven't done that for a while. Hey, Mike, long-time fan. Thank you very much. Do you think you have some genetic advantage when it comes to fighting, maybe strength and endurance? I mean, I don't like to sit here and talk about myself only, but I guess it is my YouTube channel. I do not think I have a genetic advantage. Far from it whatsoever. I was never a talented athlete at school. I had 2 left feet, when it came to football. Rugby, I was all right. I mean, to be honest, it's weird because I'm generally kind of clumsy. But then when I'm doing martial arts, that goes out the window and I'm very coordinated. So I'm very lucky like that. But in endurance, maybe, I do. Well, no, it's not that I'm bloody genetically gifted. No, I just push myself. I always push myself to the absolute limit. That's what you've got to do. If you want to make strides, you want to get better and make some gains, you got to push yourself to the limit. And I used to do that. Like when I used to go for runs, even back in the day in Clitheroe, it's only a little town in England, but I've been running through the streets going, and people would think, what is this psychopath doing? But I'm pushing myself to the limit. I used to do a lot of what they call fartlek training or interval or high intensity intervals, HIIT, they call it these days, but back in the day, we used to call it fartlek. I'd see a lamppost, I'd say, right, I'm going to sprint like crazy to that lamppost and then jog to the next one. Sprint like crazy to the next one, jog to the next one to recover. Because that's kind of what a fight is. In a fight, when you're training for a fight, you want to replicate the cardio demands on the body. So running like that, it kind of replicates a fight, because you're not all in a fight. It's like kind of nothing, and you're doing a bit of this, and you're moving your head and you're dancing around a bit with the footwork, and then it goes from that to wrestling or throwing combinations like crazy, and then it slows down a bit. So we're doing those interval training. That's the best way to get ready for a fight. If I was forced to fight Francis Ngannou, what would my strategy be? Well, the first lesson of martial arts is to run, because it all comes from a self-defense point of view, doesn't it? Martial arts, traditional martial arts anyway. Not if you're going into an MMA gym, they're not telling you to fucking run then. But I'm telling you, against Francis Ngannou, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But if I was legit gonna fight Francis Ngannou, what would my strategy be? Well, it would be a lot of footwork. It'd be dancing around a lot, trying to make him swing at fresh air, trying to tire him out, try and take him down. Although Stipe Miocic couldn't do it, so I'll be fucked if I can take him down. But that'd be the plan. That would be the plan. Hi, Mike. Huge fan. Thank you. David says, are you invested in GameStop? And do you know what is happening in the stock market? Well, I am invested heavily into the stock market, but I have a guy that does all that for me. I'm not invested in GameStop. My son Callum did. But Callum invested in that when it was going through that whole thing last year, and AMC as well. But I don't know too much about it right now. Bully Beatdown with Bisping as a host. Just a thought. Sign me up, buddy. Put me forward. MTV. Hit your boy up. Hey, champ, the lead hook says, have you seen any highlights of Mark Hunt's son? My cunt. Yeah. Oh, let's make him say my cunt. Come on, man. You got to get out of bed earlier than that, lead hook. That's a terrible attempt. We all know that one. We all know that one. I knew it as soon as I saw it. Epic fail, brother. Epic fail. Mike on. Oh, come on. Mike, when you were interviewing Yair in Mexico City and he yelled at you, how did you feel? Also, how come you never hid under the desk with Brendan? Funny question. Yeah, because I stepped into interview Yair Rodriguez. If you recall correctly, there was an eye poke, right? I think Yair poked Jeremy. It was a whole to-do. And when I went up to interview Yair Rodriguez, he exploded at me. He swore at me. I don't speak Spanish, but I recognize the word puta, which means bitch or something like that. But listen, the guy was, he was pissed off. You work so hard in a training camp, and then you don't get a chance to really fight because of an accident like that. Nobody means to eye poke anybody, by the way. Not unless you're John Jones. Joke. He was pissed off. It was fine. And how didn't I hide under the desk with Brendan? Come on, man. That's not what I do. It's not how I roll. I'm not hiding under desks. If people are throwing a few beers, I want to see it. It was fun. I pulled my phone out and started filming everything because it's absolute scenes. I forgot for a minute that I was on TV. Brendan, being the absolute professional that he was, he gets under the desk, continues to commentate. But, there you go. Let's have a look. Pardon me, got some text messages there. How very rude of me. Doing a live and I'm checking my phone, but I'm waiting for somebody. Oh, have I heard of the MMA female fighter, Testicles? Oh, no, I bet she's got some balls, though. Let's have a look. Zhao, S-X-A-A-Q. It's a tough one to pronounce. Is that a Chinese name? Why is there no Hamzat fight announced? A couple of guys want to fight him as well. Mike, the fans want to see him fight already. Frustrating. Listen, mate, my name is not Mick Maynard or Sean Shelby or Dana White. Take your anger and your fury and direct it somewhere else. But yeah, listen, I think we'll see him fight soon. I talked about it on this morning's video, by the way. You see, Alexander Gustafsson came out and said that he believes that once he touches Usman's chin, he will put him to sleep because he hits that hard. So, tremendous amount of hype around him. Any extreme sports story, skydiving, scuba, hopefully no cave diving with cowboy, bungee jumping. If not, what we'll do? If not, what would you like to do? Extreme sports. What have I done? I mean, I did some bungee jumping. I did a fundraiser for something years ago, but I did it just because I wanted to bungee jump. Let's be honest. But I went out on the piss the night before. We had a heavy night. Heavy night. It was like, we're talking 2001. I was a different person back then. I had a heavy night. And then on Saturday afternoon, I'm there, hungover to the max. And I'm at top of a church steeple. And I'm going to do a bungee jump off it. I'm like, how the fuck did I get myself into this? Extreme situations. I remember I was paddleboarding in Hawaii. I was in paddleboarding in Hawaii with my daughter, and we went kind of far around. There was like a bit of a little island. And as we're going around this island, I just hear, and I look around, and there's this elderly woman, and she must have been about 60. And with respect, she was a large lady as well. Definitely could do again on the slim fast diet, if you know what I'm saying. And she was drowning. She was drowning. I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing? I said, here. And like, she gets on the paddleboard. And then I look around, and there's another one. And she's bloody drowning as well. I'm like, holy shit. So I jump out, and I swim over, and I save her, and I get them both over to the paddleboard. And then like a lifeguard came out and like took the two ladies on my paddleboard, and they said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm a big, strong, burly man. I said, don't worry about me. I'm good. So they all pissed off. They all got saved. And then I'm trying to swim, but with the breeze and the current, I'm swimming like crazy and I'm getting nowhere. So it turned out that I was almost the one that drowned. And then a female lifeguard had to come and save me. So God bless her. Very embarrassing for me. But still, there you go. Thank you, Jake. Mike, how much do we have to pay to see you have a boxing match with Yoel Romero, a Triller matchup? You and Yoel would get money out of my pocket. I love you, Jake. Broga. No fucking Jesus. I'd box Yoel Romero any day of the week. I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome. But I don't think I'll be able to. I would. I don't know if contractually, because I'm retired, but I'm still technically under contract with the UFC, so I couldn't do that if I wanted to. Although they're not the Nazis that people think. Dana White, I remember, because I did a demonstration grappling match with Chael Sonnen years ago, and I got paid some good money for it. And when I went to Dana with it, even though I was under contract with the UFC, Dana was like, "Yeah, great, of course, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, go ahead, earn some money, no problem." Went to a draw, by the way, with Chael Sonnen, in case anyone is wondering. Him being the grappler, me being the striker. It's not a bad result. Hey, Mike, huge fan, love your channel. Any chance you've seen the Dutch MMA fighter, Lars Janus? Oh, let me see. Have I ever seen a Lars Janus? Oh, I don't know about that one. Come on, buddy. That's terrible. Is that all you've got? Come on, Sam the Man 91. Sam, try better the Man 91, as you know in most circles. But yeah. All right, here we go. Jaden Barber says, hey, Mike, what are your favorite artists, musicians? I noticed you're listening to Massive Attack, getting ready for a fight a while ago. Yeah, Massive Attack are fantastic. And the album Mezzanine always reminds me of when I was cutting weight for the Luke Rockhold fight. I'll give you a little story. I remember my jiu-jitsu coach, Brady Fink, because the way I used to cut weight, just like a lot of people, I have a salt bath, really hot. Then you get with sweet sweat on, you get out of the bed, and then you lie in your bed with your sauna suit on, with tons of towels and blankets over you, and you have the room super heated up. We'd always call down to the front desk of the hotel and say, listen, we need tons of towels and we need tons of space heaters. And they're decent hotel. They'll bring you up 3 or 4 space heaters. You plug those in, you crank up the heat, you get the room hot as fuck. You put about 10 liters of salt into a bath. You get in the bath, it's boiling hot. You're covered in sweet sweat as well. Then you get out, then you get your sauna suit on, then you get in bed and you lie there for 20 minutes. Doesn't sound that bad, but trust me, when the water starts coming out, it really, really gets bad. And Brady used to give me a little foot massage. He used to give me a little foot massage and a leg massage, and it would take my mind off the fact that I was dying, because you are literally dying. You're dehydrating yourself to death. But for some reason, my wife didn't like it. She does not like that. And then that was the best wake cut of my life. So then from there, that was the strategy that we implemented. When I got into bed for the next part of the wake up after the bath, Brady would give me a little massage to take my mind off it. And there's nothing, I don't know what it was. My wife does not like that for some reason. But Massive Attack are fantastic. I tell you, another band that always reminds me of when I used to cut weight, and I used to listen to them a lot. Stereo MCs. Connected. That album is fantastic. Love that one. Vasilis Skinias says, hold on, contact lens is piercing me off again. Can't see a damn thing. Jesus Christ. You never know because it goes one way. You never know. You want to push it left or push it right. You push it the wrong way, it gets even more blurry, obviously. Vas here, big fan. Who does Paddy fight next? I think Jared Gordon is a proper next step. Do you think the UFC's fast tracking him? No, I don't think so. Much love from Astoria, Queens. Astoria, Queens. Yeah, I think that's a real place. That's the problem these days. You guys are always trying to make me say stupid stuff. I see something I don't recognize. I got a second guess and think, is this a joke? But Astoria, Queens. Astoria. Now I don't know. Anyway, no, I think Jared Gordon is a good next step. I mean, Paddy's talking a big game. He had a big debut and he wants to be a champion, and you got to step up. He's in the UFC. I don't think Jared Gordon is a bridge too far at all. Is Jared ranked? I would assume that he's ranked. So it's a good step up. It's a quick step up to a ranked opponent. But hey, he's in the UFC. Got to do what you got to do. Vibaz Patel says, Mike, why do you think wrestlers have been so dominant over the past years in the UFC? Khabib, DC, Usman. Do I think that any other skill set will become dominant in the years to come? I mean, listen. Fucking hell. Wrestling is a really hard sport. Not only is it a hard sport, it's also perfectly applicable to mixed martial arts. You can decide where the fight goes. You can take it down or you can use your wrestling to stay on the feet. Of course, also for that, wrestling is very hard to learn. Trust me. It's a hard sport to learn. And yes, you can be shown the mechanics of a takedown and you think you can got it in your head, but to actually do it successfully is very hard, like a single leg, like the body mechanics look simple enough, but then when you're trying to do it on somebody, it's very hard. Certainly when you're trying to do it on someone that's resisting as well, it's very tough. The cardio, the strength, everything involved. If you're wrestling from an early age, it's gonna mold you into a certain type of man. So that will cross over to mixed martial arts. But there's other things. It's not the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? I didn't wrestle as a child. I managed to adapt some wrestling skills to help me out. Jiu-jitsu is a great one. Obviously, you need these things as well. So boxing, kickboxing. Boxing's fantastic because the footwork of boxing is needed. A lot of people in the UFC, they're good kickboxers, but they don't have the footwork because Thai boxing, traditionally, they stand toe-to-toe. And it's kind of like a dick measuring contest to a certain degree. You know what I mean? They both stand there and they dish out punishment. You need the boxing, the headwork, the movement, the defensive, the in and out, the angles and all the rest of it. So boxing's a great one. Zach McCaffrey, how do you see Masvidal versus Colby going? Well, I mean, listen, they're just going to make that matchup for one. It's about time they match those two guys up. I'm speaking as a fan, by the way. They're both talking shit. They both hate one another. They're both outspoken. They're both top contenders. They're both fan favorites. And they're both talking shit. I think it was Masvidal called Colby a fucking coward a few days ago. So, come on. Take my money. Sign me up. Thank you, Amit Manjit. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. I'm missing a few of your questions. Let's go down into the chat a little bit. Who we got? Listen, I appreciate you guys, by the way. Hope you or Chael considered consulting fighters on how to sell fights like you did. Is that something you can learn? Is it something that you can learn? Yeah, so selling fights, obviously. When you say, the way I used to look at it is that every time I used to fight, that was my product, right? And you want your product to be successful. Just like if you're launching a book, right? You want to do the PR. Anything you do, any endeavor in life, you want it to be successful, you got to do some work. So I obviously looked at each of my fights like an individual business venture. And I want that to do big numbers. And I want it to be sold out. And I want the pay-per-views to do well. So for me to do that, I have to talk about it. I have to talk about my opponent. I have to exude confidence. And, whilst big up your opponent as well, because you want to make it out that you're fighting tough guys, but also berate them and say that they're a load of shit and make it personal. I used to make every fight personal, because that's what people want to see. It's very nice seeing two guys that are respectful and they shake hands and they fucking bow at one another. That's great. Love it. Love it. But it doesn't sell very well. You know, if you got two guys going at each other and the Dana's in between them and they're talking shit and the press is writing up articles on them, it's getting the response that you're looking for. You know, you can certainly, and to answer your question, I wouldn't consult fighters now. You know, you can give them some pointers. You can give them some opportunity. Like when they're in the octagon. Somebody said before about me interviewing fighters in the cage. That's a big opportunity. Some people only get to fight once a year. Top end 4 times a year. Normally it's 2, maybe 3. Excuse me. Point that I'm making is it's not very frequent. So when you get that opportunity, when you're on TV, you're on ESPN or on pay-per-view, and Joe Rogan walks in and he sticks that microphone in front of your face, that is your opportunity right there. You got to make some noise. You got to let the world know why they've got to pay attention to you. Just mumbling your way through an interview, not being inspiring, not saying anything of any value or worth, not giving a name when the UFC say, who do you want to fight? I'll fight whoever the UFC give me. Listen, that's great. I'm not necessarily insulting them. And what I'm saying is that they could make the most of that opportunity. You're only in that moment or in that, you have that special opportunity a very small number of times. The world is watching. The world of mixed martial arts, all eyes are on you. Make it count. And by that, I don't mean have something planned. Some people used to do that. By all accounts, Chael Sonnen was one of them. Some people have planned things in their mind. I never did that. I was always authentic. There was only one time I had something planned in my head, and it wasn't even a planned speech or nothing. It was when I fought Matt Hamill. You know, that we were enemies. If you saw Ultimate Fighter 3, this is a long time ago, and it was a super close fight, and a lot of people thought I lost. But in my mind, because I didn't like him at the time, and now I've got nothing but respect for Matt Hamill. But at the time, I was going to say, oh, yeah, because in my mind, I thought I was going to knock him out. And then I was going to say, yeah, back to wrestling. And I don't know why I said that comment. And then the entire world turned against me because it was a bit of a dick thing to say because it was a close fight. So there you go. If you plan it, often it can go wrong. You just got to be yourself. You got to be yourself, but you want to have a general message that you're trying to get out. Thoughts on the Korean Zombie versus Volkanovski? Love he might get the chance versus a vet. Hope Allen gets his break soon. Yeah, Arnold Allen out the UK doing big things on a tremendous win streak. He's another guy, you know what I mean? And I'm not insulting him, but he needs to try and, you know, make a bit more of an impression on the microphone because he's got the skills to pay the bills, to use a stupid fucking expression, but it's true, he does. But Volkanovski taking on Korean Zombie. I mean, they both said, let's do it. So there's a potential that is made. As a fan, I kind of want to see Triple C, the king of cringe, quadruple C, if he has his way. I'd like to see that. I would. I just think that'd be cool to see him come out of retirement and go for Volkanovski. Also, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's out there. Ooh, what a fight that would be. Volkanovski, Josh Emmett. I think I'd rather that one. But hey, Zombie's fucking great as well. Fine. You get 2 proper Canadian tenors. But I shall have my soundbite, Mike. Just get your fat ass back in the gym. Come on, buddy. Listen, last right zeros. Get your fat ass back in the gym. Come on, buddy. The year 2022. It's January. If you're not going to get off your ass and make an effort in January, when are you going to? Come on. I mean, listen, we're all failing on our New Year's resolutions. I may have had a glass of wine last night, but I'm limiting it. You know, it's small, little by little. What else? My favorite MMA fighter of all time. Well, thank you, Damon Wilson. Toughest off the tough. Yeah, mentally and physically. Thank you. What's your favorite alcoholic drink, though? Favorite? I mean, I don't know. I'm a simple man. I love a nice beer, but I do. If I'm going to a fancy restaurant, like Saturday night, I took the missus out. We went out to a beautiful restaurant in Brea called the Brea Chop House. I got a great steak, and I had a lovely dirty vodka martini. Love a good dirty vodka martini. However, the glasses are a little camp, aren't they? You know, and I have been hit on by gay guys multiple times whilst drinking dirty vodka martinis. I was shooting a movie in London, and this guy, he was a lovely guy, and we were chatting away, whatever, you know, and I'm drinking martinis, and I think just the glass might have sent the wrong image, or maybe I don't know, maybe I was flirting with him. I was just being a friendly guy, and it went from like you know, talking, then he was leaning in and he was like rubbing shoulders, then he put his hand on my lap, you know what I mean, for a minute, and then he put his hand on it again, Then he put his hand on it again and he kind of left it there. I was like, oh, I know what's going on here. Hey, God bless you. God loves a trier, but you're barking up the wrong tree here, mate. So anyway, so I go, right, nice talking to you, mate. I'm going to go to bed. I finished my drink. He goes, oh, yeah, so am I. So he downs his drink and he follows me to the elevator. And we get in the elevator and we're standing in there and I'm thinking, oh God, I think I know where this is going. So I said, right, what floor are you on? Because I wanted to make sure that I said I was on a floor higher than him so that he got out first. Fortunately, he was on like floor 4. So I pushed 4 and I was on 7 or something like that, whatever it was. So I pushed 4 and I pushed 7. And then it gets to floor 4 and the door's open and the door's closed. The elevator keeps moving up. I said, hey, what are you doing, buddy? I said, that was your floor. He says, oh, I just want to ride the elevator. I said, oh, okay, all right. And then we get to floor 7. Bing, doors open. I walk out and he walks out with me. And I'm walking down the corridor and I'm getting to my door and I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? He said, oh, I thought I could just come in for a drink. I'm like, no, not going to happen, mate. As I say, you're barking up the wrong tree. So I love a good martini, but I've got a few of those stories. Great Chelsea took on 5 guys in one night. How many could you take? I mean, I'm not saying that I've beaten up more than 5 guys in one night, but I've probably beaten more than 5 guys in one night. I had a couple of good classic barn burners back in the day. I had a few good ones. I'm talking a long time ago, back in the 90s when I was a kid, I don't really like to sit here though and tell fight stories. You sound like a meathead. You sound like an idiot. I'm a mature man these days. Do you support Mark Hunt in regards to the lawsuit against the UFC? I mean, I don't know enough of the details. Listen, I'm never a fan of anyone taking steroids, but I know the UFC operate and do everything they can to eradicate them. I honestly, I haven't read. For me to give an opinion on that, I would have to read up all the details. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair one way or the other. That's what I get for licking beards. You're right. I know. That's another story. Excuse me. What else is going on in the world of MMA and what questions you got? Let's have a look. Let's go down to the chat down here at the bottom. Do I believe in Paddy's hype? I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? We'll see. A la Zugi. It's a tough one. I mean, Paddy's got tremendous amount of hype. Now he's in a position where he's got to live up to it. He's very good. Cage Warriors is a good organization. And he had a lot of success there and he had a great debut. So far, so good. But he's in the lightweight division. The lightweight division is one of the toughest on the planet. All right, okay. Rahul Singh as a South Asian man. I'm looking forward to the Korean Zombie for an upset. Still waiting on the live music night with DJ Mikey B. Hope the mum gets well soon. Thank you, Rahul. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. Yeah, my mum, she's still under from the anesthetic from the operation that she just had. She'll be all right. She's a tough old bird. Hi from Blackpool, says Scruffy Diamond. Say hi to Danny or Allison. Danny Allison, how are you, mate? Why does Dustin Poirier fight next? From Kieran. Who does he fight next? It looks like it's going to be Nate Diaz, doesn't it? I'd like that. What's the funniest interaction story you have with a fellow fighter or a celeb around MMA events? The funniest interaction or story? I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot over the years. I'm terrible with these questions. I never give you a straight answer, do I? So for that, I apologize. Funniest story. I don't know. Anytime there's anything with DC, it's funny. DC's out of his mind. What is some of the funniest stories? I don't know. There's some funny ones, and a lot of them aren't suitable for YouTube, if you know what I'm saying, because people get offended. People love to get offended these days, don't they? You know what I mean? Hey, Mike, when do you think John will come back? Soon, I hope. You know what? John Jones should be in Anaheim, California next week. When UFC 270 goes down, he should be there. I don't know what's going on with his contract negotiations. There hasn't been much word on that lately. It's kind of gone quiet, hasn't it? The media was reporting on that a lot a while ago. Obviously, I'm not privy to those conversations. But if I'm John Jones, I'm being in attendance at UFC 270. I want to make sure I'm ringside or even go into the cage and challenge the winner, What up, Mike? Love the content. What martial arts do you have? BJJ or Russian Sambo? Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira? I mean, it doesn't come down to the individual martial art. It comes down to the person, doesn't it? And it comes down to what happens on the night. Often every fight's different. It's like when I fought Rockhold. I said, just because you beat me last time doesn't mean you're going to beat me this time. You know what I mean? When you're two good guys, two skilled guys, anything can happen. But which one? Sambo or jiu-jitsu? Well, Sambo's going to get you down. Jiu-jitsu is going to give you problems when you get down there. Mikey B, does John Jones have any UFC fights where he didn't commit an eye poke or a groin strike or some other illegal strike? Peacock Graham. Good one. I don't know. I'd have to go watch them all. I mean, he does have that reputation, doesn't he, for being a dirty fighter. Won't remember me. Been over 20 years back. Hold on. 20 years back in days at bottom of Brotherton. Still here in Clitheroe. Shazabel. Yeah. Brotherton Meadow. Brotherton Meadow. Where's Brotherton Meadow? Anyway, whatever. All right. Well, I hope you're well. Threw me for a loop there. It's just the GOAT, says someone there. Hey, Bisping, how much do you love Indiana? And why are you such a pro UFC guy, even though you lost an eye to the game? Well, I did. I did lose an eye. Indiana, first of all. Never been to Indiana. Never been. Would love to go. I haven't seen a lot of America. I want to see it. It's a beautiful country. It's a huge, vast country with every type of climate and stuff. Well, not every time, but a lot of times. So I've got to see more of it. I was meant to go to Montana to a ranch a while ago, but then I got an opportunity to host this TV called Hyperdrive, TV show called Hyperdrive. Netflix. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Michael, lots of love from Finland. I've got a question. How do you think Michael Venom-Page would do in the UFC? Well, that's the big question, isn't it? And that comes from Shipway. Thanks, Ship. That's the big question because I think Michael Venom-Page needs to come over. Great guy, awesome individual. Love the way that he fights. Love everything about him. Quite the showman. If I was fighting him, he'd drive you crazy because he's a cocky son of a bitch. But that's what you got to be when you're fighting. I'd like to see him come over to the UFC though. It's just better fights for him, more challenges. Tough one to say. Love your channel, Sujit Ravindran says. Love your channel, Michael. Have you ever had a fight that made you question pursuing combat sports? Do you know what? I didn't. There was never once, and I'm not trying to sit here and sound like a tough guy, because that's not fun, is it? No one wants to hear that. But even the fights that I lost, afterwards, I always thought I could win them again straight away. Had I done this differently, had I done that wrong. And maybe that's delusion, but it's that delusion that you need as a professional fighter. You know, if you don't believe that you can win, if you don't believe that you're better than your opponent, then you're in the wrong business. You know, so you have to maintain the courage and the belief in yourself to step back in there and go again. You can't sit there and go afterwards, go, wow. I mean, by the way, if you get your ass kicked from pillar to post, from start to finish, you don't land the glove and you just get embarrassed, then yes, you have to sit there and be honest and go, well, I need to improve, don't I? Maybe I need to step back a little bit and work on some things. But that never happened to me. I did lose fights, of course, and I was never beaten from pillar to post and embarrassed like that. And I lost some decisions and I got stopped a couple of times, you know, but you always afterwards, you kind of look and you go, okay, well, I did this wrong. I did that wrong and I'll improve that and keep marching forward. You know, after all, what did he say? Quitters never win. What advice can you give to anyone starting out their own business? And could you give mine a shout out? Ascension Sports Massage in the northeast of England. How man? Ascension Sports Massage, man, in the northwest of fucking England, man. I can't do a Geordie accent, pet. That's all I got. Like, I got a wee bit of a Geordie accent, like, but that's about it. Sounded a bit Indian there for a second. Starting your own business, got to work hard, man. What did he say? Started from the bottom, now we're here. Got to work hard in anything you do. Be smart as well. Have a good business plan. Get some good people around you. Give a good service. If you're a massage guy, give a good massage. Get out there. Get on social media. Get your Instagram page pop in. You know. Any advice for someone? Animal 4 says, any advice for someone who wants to achieve their dreams of becoming a UFC fighter but is held back by their looks, acne, etc., and has a broken jaw? Well, the looks, don't worry about that. The acne, come on, grow up. Don't worry about that either. The broken jaw, if your jaw's broken, you're fucked. Okay, maybe find something else. Looks, acne, no worries. You know what I mean? I was never known for being the most handsome bastard. Certainly at school, couldn't get a girlfriend to save my life. Acne, we all go through a bit of acne, but if you've got like really bad acne, then Again, it's a bit of acne. Come to terms with it. It's not the end of the world, is it? You know, there's people with much bigger problems. But if you've got a broken jaw, then you might be fucked at being a UFC fighter. If you can't take a punch again, you might be fucked. Looking forward to seeing Tales from the Octagon, Shepherd's Bush, 2022, October. Is there any venue you wish you could have fought in? Any venue? I mean, I was pretty lucky. And thank you, by the way, Tales of the Octagon. myticket.co.uk, coming back to England, mainland Europe, New Zealand, and Australia in October and November next year. I was pretty lucky. I managed to fight all over the world for the most part. China, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Brazil, Canada, England, Scotland. Where else? Australia. You know, I was very lucky. I fought all over the world. And a lot of people don't like to travel. You always hear about it. Fights go, oh, I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel. I'm like, what do you mean? It's one of the coolest things in the world to go jump on a plane with your team after you've prepared for a fight for a few months. And then you got a mission, right? And you put the plan into place and you and your team, you jump on the plane, you fly over there. It's like living an episode of fucking Bloodsport or what is it, Kickboxer with Van Damme. Was it the Bloodsport? Do you know what I mean? It's the coolest thing in the world. It really is. I used to love it. And I got to fight all over the world. And you see different cultures. You see different people. Experience different crowds. Anywhere where I never got to fight, though. Russia would have been cool. Yeah, Russia would have been cool. Any advice for someone who wants to achieve their dreams of becoming a UFC fighter? We already read that one. What is the hardest you've been hit? Read that one as well. Let's go down the chart. All right. Don't let me down, guys. What we got? What do you think about AJ Mckee? AJ Mckee from Bellator doing great things. I think he's the champ, isn't he? Yeah. Who should step in against Volk? We talked about that. How's it going, Bisping, brother? Patsy Hands. Thank you very much. I'm good, man. What do you think about Till when he returns? Shout out to my Mrs. Kerry, please. Oh my God, I got it. There's a mosquito in here. I don't think you picked it up on camera, though. If I had chopsticks, you'd be all fucking talking about that, wouldn't you? When you going to call George out again? I mean, I never called him out in the first place, by the way. They came to me. I was on a plane flying to Dubai to do an appearance when I just beaten Dan Henderson. I was still black and blue from the fight because I actually got a fractured orbital. And I got a text off Dana White, hey, don't say anything. We're thinking of doing you and George in October. It was never me. Everyone loves to talk shit. Oh, you picked easy fights when you were champ. It was never me. And when I beat Luke Rockhold, I was still hungover on Monday morning after the fight. And then Dana White called me and said, we want to do you versus Dan Henderson in the rematch. He just knocked out Hector Lombard on the same card. It did massive numbers when you fought last time. And of course, you got knocked out. So there's a whole lot of history there, Mike. What do you say? And I said, yeah, well, I fucking know that guy won down. I said, yeah, fine. You know, it is what it is. Do I like black guys? Yeah, of course I do. I like everybody. It depends. Are you a dickhead? If you're not a dickhead, then I'll like you. I don't discriminate though, and based on skin color, that would be just stupid and foolish, very ignorant in this a very foolish way to live your life. Kerry Horrocks says, any chance you will live in the UK again? Do you know what? I've been talking about that a lot recently because me and my wife, we've been watching A Place in the Sun. What's it called? A Place in the Country. Are you there? Are you decent, babe? Do you want to come and join my life for a minute? Oh, she's coming in. I don't know what she looks like. What's Vin Diesel like? Vin Diesel's awesome. Is the answer to that. He's been a very... Get a chair. You don't want to perch on my lap. You know what I mean? She's very heavy. She could do going on a diet for New Year's because when she sits on my leg, it goes numb really quick. Yeah, what's Vin Diesel like? Yeah, awesome. Check him out in my new documentary, Bisping, which comes out soon, as I said earlier. So he's great, man. He's great. Hey, Mike, as an amateur fighter, is it true you should be fighting as often as you can? That comes from Keegan Morrison. Yes, Keegan. As an amateur fighter, you want to fight as much as possible because, listen, a lot of people want to turn pro. They want to turn pro very, very soon, very quick. And I get it. It's sexy. You get to get paid and all that good stuff. Hold on, let's move this back a touch. Tinsaruni.
See, does that come in?
No. And then just turn that light off behind us because it's right behind your head. And And we can see the little mini Bisping better as well. Anyway, look at that. It is better. Rebecca, do we ever think about living in the UK again?
Well, we do. We fantasize about it, but
We
that's
do.
what it is. It's a fantasy because the reality is not.
What's the reality?
Well, the reality is it's freezing cold and it rains pretty much.
But that's pretty shallow,
every
though. Just to
day.
think about the weather, there's more to it than that. Like my mother's in hospital right now.
I know, and I'm always trying to get us out there. I want to spend more time there, but to live there full time, not sure about that.
Yeah, well, I would do it in a heartbeat.
You're a liar.
I would do it in
Such
a
a
heartbeat. The
liar.
problem is that my life is here now, and I've got a
Mhm.
lot going on here. Which is great. I'm very lucky. I commentate for the UFC. I love that job. Couldn't be commuting from England and there and back all the time. And then, of course, the kids are kind of assimilated here. They're very much, Callum's at college in San Francisco. Ellie is at college here. That's all their lives here.
Even if we wanted to, we're kind of stuck here now.
So yeah, there you go. And yeah, as an amateur fighter, you want to get as much of the experience as possible because when you turn pro, listen, as an amateur, you could lose as much as you want. It doesn't matter because you're going to get that. That every time you lose, you learn. Simple as that. And I know that sounds cliched, but it's true. Mike, if you were offered middleweight champion, if Dana offered you the chance to fight John Jones, yeah, I would have done. Would I have tried to be a champ? So when I was a champ and I could have gone up and fought John Jones, I'd have had to do. I was going to step up against Daniel Cormier, if you remember. UFC 200. I threw my name in the mix. John Jones got pulled from the card, didn't he? Was it John Jones? I believe it was Jones. And then Anderson Silva fought. But I went on Twitter and I called out DC. Big cuddly DC. You know what I mean? What's he going to do? Hold me down and laugh at me? Hey, Mike. I got you.
Fight, so
yeah.
that would not be good.
Yeah, well, I got sick jiu-jitsu, babe. I'd armbar him all day long.
Yeah.
Have I talked to Eco Ways behind the scenes? Matt Hill says from college. Eco is amazing. Great martial arts actor. For those that don't know, Eco Ways. You never met Eco Ways. He's in Triple Threat. He's in a lot of movies. He's again another one that's getting tons of work. Where's my work? Any advice to trying to balance? By the way, Eco's awesome. What a super friendly guy. Any advice to balancing family and work? Rebecca, any advice for balancing family and work?
I presume that's directed towards you because I do not work. However,
yes, you're correct, you don't.
I don't know. The floor is yours. How do you balance family and work?
I mean,
he doesn't.
You just got to do what you can.
He just does it.
You just got to do what you can. Let me see. We were at the stables yesterday, Beck.
Yes.
I still haven't ridden this horse. She won't let me on the horse. Why?
Because he's too much of a horse for you to just get on and ride. He's not that type of a
Too much of a horse for me to ride, but she can get on. And my daughter, who's 18, can also get on, but I can't.
Well, we didn't get on him straight away. You have to work up to him.
Yeah, well, thought Rebecca did well not to burst out laughing at moving back here to the UK.
Yeah. We're not moving back.
Well, I'm going to buy a house there.
Yes, and I want to spend time there. Like I want to go there for Christmas.
You have to talk into the microphone. I'm sorry, I'm not berating you.
You berating?
No, I'm not berating you because we got a lot of shit last time. But you do direct your head over there and talk. You have to. I know. Everyone gives me shit. Last time I got a lot of shit for getting on her.
But being mean.
But she does this and she does this and then she aims her mouth that way to talk. This is. I know. And by the way, we're joking. We're joking.
What was the question?
Banter.
What's the question? I forgot now.
That's the microphone.
This is fine. If anyone can't hear me, let me know.
They can hear. I know.
So what was the question?
The question was, I don't know. Something about moving back to England. But you're Australian.
No, yeah, I'd move back to Australia.
You wouldn't. You're a liar.
I would love to, but we just can't because the kids are here and I'm not moving away from my children.
Your wife's hot, bro.
Thank you.
Bisping with another win. Thank you very much. Someone says love you too. Shout out from London, UK. Big up London in the house, bruv. How did you get your UFC contract? By winning fights. Let's have a look. Does dressing like a 20-year-old help with your midlife crisis? Almost 50. And that comes from...
Who's almost 50? You?
Yeah, apparently so.
Wow.
And how am I dressing? See, this is hilarious. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do I dress like I'm in my
No,
20s?
no. I suspect he's American, and American guys don't really wear skinny jeans. And you don't wear skinny, but they are on the tighter side.
Yeah.
And a lot of Americans don't like that.
It's called style, mate.
Yes.
And you want to talk to me about, I mean, I don't know how old this person is, but your screen name is Come On Man. Come on yourself. And then secondly, how old are you? Because you're coming on YouTube and you're directing insulting comments and you're paying me a $5 for them. Do you know what I mean?
I'd be offended
Jokes
at
on you,
almost
buddy.
50.
Jokes on you. And I'm not almost 50. I'm 42, right? But nothing wrong with being a stylish motherfucker, is the babe.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
You just swear about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just can't try to keep it real for the people.
Yes.
You know, you're going to drop a little F-bomb here and
think-
there. Otherwise, I go, oh, he's gone too corporate. He's gone all Disney.
I don't think that's ever
The
going to
people
happen.
they say that on Believe You Me. By the way, Anthony Smith will be co-hosting Believe You Me today, so make sure you tune in for that one. That will be available at 9 p.m. Pacific on YouTube tonight. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Bisping's too corporate. It's too PC." No,
Never going to happen.
never gonna happen.
I've been trying. For 20
When have
years.
I been too corporate? Good evening from Chorley, Mike. Which UFC champion do I get along with the most? I probably have the closest relationship with DC. You know, former champ, of course. Thank you very much. Do you have any phobias? Phobias.
Yeah, he doesn't like insects.
I don't like
I don't know if
insects.
it's a phobia.
It's not a
but you're an
phobia.
actual child, and it's embarrassing.
No,
to be honest
I'm
with
not. I'm not a child.
you.
They're just gross.
Who has to
No,
deal
no, no.
with the insects in the house?
Yeah, well, you do.
Mhm.
No, but like we have we just got Lucas a tarantula for Christmas, and I'm fascinated with it. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not holding it though. Rebecca holds it. Lucas is yet to hold it a lot. I love insects. I think they're absolutely fascinating creatures, and I love watching documentaries about them. And they are like real life aliens on this planet. It's insane the stuff that they can do. But don't fucking touch me, okay? I don't know what it is, and if the insect's around, I start itching and scratching my head.
What
and
if one was just like right there?
oh no, it'd be fine if it's
No,
right
you
there.
would not. You're such a liar. That's
If,
not
if
true.
a bee was around it, I'm going,
I
ah,
know, it's ridiculous.
you know, I am.
Like, just ignore it. It's not going to kill you.
Listen,
I would say you're a little bit claustrophobic too.
I'm
You're
not
a
really.
It's a bit pathetic, really.
I'm a little bit pathetic, according to my wife. Why do I hate Kentucky Fried Chicken? That's very offensive to us Americans. Listen, it's just go on.
Michael used to be a huge fan of KFC
I
back in the day.
I did, but
Zinger Tower Burger, which you don't get over.
You don't
here.
get a Zinger Tower Burger. I remember Marshall Zalesnik used to be the director of the UFC, the president in the UK and international. Great guy, by the way. And I remember telling him about a Zinger Tower Burger from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I was like, oh my God, Marshall, you don't understand. The Zinger Tower Burger is gorgeous. And he's like, how can you ever describe something from Kentucky Fried Chicken as gorgeous? Or no, delicious? I'm like, you got to fucking try one. But I'll tell you this, and I hate to say it, Kentucky Fried Chicken in America is not as good as in England.
I don't think I've ever had KFC out here.
It
to be honest with you.
stinks. It's gross. Can you please wish my cuz my Dixie's wrecked. My Dixie wrecked. I mean, that's a joke. Well, I don't get it.
My dick is erect.
Oh, see, she's quicker than me. My dick is erect. Oh, come on. Oh, dearie. Let's have a look what we've got down here. Michael, what do you think you could take Joe Rogan? Well, listen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Joe Rogan, whether or not I can take him, but generally they say this, don't they? Those who can't teach and those who teach, I don't know what I'm saying, but he fucking talks about it, doesn't he? And I used to do it, so, you know.
I would say the answer is
Weight classes as well. He's very good at kicking a bag. Let's have a look. Rogan's awesome, by the way. I love that guy. I love his commentary as
Michael
well.
and Rebecca, what is your key to a happy and fulfilling relationship?
You got to keep him in the place. You know what I mean? You can't let him get ideas above the station. You gotta keep it down there. Do you know what I mean? Can we have a live stream with just Rebecca? Sorry, Mike. Oh, Mike Tyson. You want to do a live stream by yourself?
Not really. Sorry, guys.
Listen. You think I'm picking on her? You think she would? There wouldn't be much. There wouldn't be much going on.
What are you are you saying?
Well, you wouldn't say much.
Well, that's true. I don't really have as much to say as you, of course, but I'm sure I could think. The people would ask me questions, but no, I don't
Yeah,
think I'm going to.
Mike, I'm a huge fan. We got questions for Rebecca, everybody. Let's have a look, because I've talked enough. Do you have any personal connection with Ireland, or do you feel it's 100% English from an Irish fan? Do I have any connection with Ireland, or do I feel 100% English? Well, no. My mother's Irish, like legit. She talks with a wee Irish accent, so she does, and she's in the hospital right now. So, Mom, I hope you're well. She's from the north of Ireland. That's why I'm talking like this. And I got a lot of Irish accent, a lot of Irish family. So I do. No, that was bad at the end. I got fucking tons of Irish family, so I do. No, there's half of my family is from Ireland. A tremendous amount. But I was born in England. So
You don't feel Irish, do you?
I don't feel Irish, no, but I have a connection there, the north of Ireland, and I have so much family there. I've told this before. I went to a pub on a Tuesday night in Killaloe, or down Pat. No, it was Killaloe, and I went in there with my cousin Tony. Shout out Tony, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. And I was like, fucking hell. I said, look at all these people in here. I mean, I know they say Irish like a drink, but this pub being that packed on a Tuesday night was crazy. And he said, Michael, the reason they're all in here on a Tuesday is because they're all related to you. Literally every single person in here. And yeah, there you go. So lots of Irish family.
You should do a 23andMe to find out what you're actually made of. But for some reason, he refuses. I don't know why.
I'm not doing I don't need to do a 23andMe.
Why? It's interesting.
Well, number one, because they sell all your data. Okay? They sell your data, which is ridiculous. Beck, has Mike mellowed over the years? Was I just selling fights? Good question. And that comes to us from Wuhala 100. Rebecca.
Yeah, of course he was selling fights. He doesn't walk around like a angry SOB all the time, just some of the time. But he's definitely mellowed, but not mellowed out completely, which I'm glad about. I don't want you to be boring, but no, he'll never mellow completely. Never.
I will.
Never.
I will.
He won't.
If you're not careful.
No.
Michael, Rebecca, what's it like to be married to a famous athlete? I don't believe I'm famous. I don't say that. I don't think of myself like that. But what's it been like being married to an athlete?
Well, I've never been married to anyone else, so I've got nothing to compare it to be honest with you. But yeah, it's great. It's good.
Great. It's good. Oh my God, listen to it.
Well, what am I meant to say? What's it like being married to me?
It's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll do.
No, it's good.
When are we going to get a Mikey B live stream DJ concert? Been reading your book. Yes, soon.
That's what I've been saying.
I know. And I bought this thing that I do, and you put it into the back of the mixer, and you put it into your phone, and you set the phone up on a fucking tripod, and then boom, away you go. Apparently, didn't work. Did not work. And did you know what the problem is as well? I don't mind putting the music on. And there's a lot of DJs that do live streams on YouTube, right? And some of the music's okay. But then they just stand there, don't they, going like that. And the dancer, there's one woman and she just does this. I forget her name. And the YouTube algorithm keeps pushing her fucking shit to me.
I could do that if you want.
You stand there and do that, babe.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the bit that I don't want to do. I don't mind DJing. I don't mind putting the music on. But it's like in between, what am I going to do? Because like I'm a bad boy DJ, bruv. So I can get those beats lined up in just a few minutes, I can get it lined up real quick. And then I got spare time in the club. I'll be having a beer. I'll be chit-chatting away. But on a live stream, I'll be standing there scratching my ass. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what do you normally do?
Just like kind of like look at my phone.
Well, just do that. Because I think it would do really, really good. I really do.
But the thing is, like the Northwest house music scene is a little bit niche, It
is, but that's okay.
But I'm now into a bit more like nice tech house, and we like some trance, don't we, babe? So
yeah, but the stuff you've been playing lately, I'm not a fan of.
You don't like that set I did yesterday?
It started out terribly, but then it was okay.
It did start. Well, no, I know why she says terrible, because it was a bit slower. Anyway, shout out from Alberta. Can you disclose any additional countries the UFC will return to in 2022? Canada is an Omicron hole, but there's bound to be some additional venues that are low risk.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm going to
in-depth
tell you,
question.
that's the most boring question I've ever been asked. I'm sorry, mate. Let's have a
not
look.
nice.
It's not nice. And shout out to Michael Drader. In fact, I'm doing a U-turn. I'm doing a quick 180. Best question I've ever been asked. Canada is an Omicron hole right now.
Everywhere is. Right
Everywhere
now.
it fucking is. Everyone's had it. Jesus Christ. We were
We
saying
had it.
we did. We had it. And they all know about it. Could have beat Harrington and Lewis in a tennis match. No, I couldn't beat anyone in a tennis match. You know why? One eye. Zero depth perception. Right, babe? I'm always missing things. I got to grab things like, you know.
You always miss things.
I do. I miss a lot of things. But the ball's coming at me. I can't catch things. I'll give you a little story. I was at a UFC meeting for the Dana White Contender Series on a Tuesday night. And one of the producers, shall remain nameless, lovely guy, Mike Ricci. Great guy. What an awesome guy he is. And I needed a pen because just like at school, I never had a pen. You remember that when you were at school? I mean, who always had a pen and a pencil?
Me?
Yeah, I hated those people.
That's everyone. It's the most basic thing. You need a pencil and a pen when you go to school. And if you don't, then you're an idiot.
But I never had one. And
because
I never had a
you're going to need a pen.
And I never had a
why
pencil.
Wouldn't you just grab a pen?
We're in a school. There's tons of pens. And if people weren't dickheads, they just lend you a pen. And I said, sir, I haven't got a pen or a pencil.
Maybe they're sick of lending you pens because you obviously never gave it back.
Did not give them back.
Exactly.
All the
Give you
time.
one either.
But still, so we're at this UFC meeting. We're all around a board table. And I'm at one end. And Mike Ricci, as I say, a sweetheart of a guy, not talking shit. He's at the far end at the other end. I'm like, who's got a pen? He goes, I've got a pen. And he just innocently, as you would do, throws the pen at me, right? But I've got no depth perception. And the pen goes careering towards me. And then, doink.
Good eye.
Got me right in my good eye. Right. I was like, ah. And everyone thought I was kind of joking, but I'm like, no. And believe it or not, I'm very protective of that one eye. Hence,
but that's fine.
I retired from fighting. That's why I retired from fighting. You know, just real quick before we move on, because I was warned, obviously, with the troubles with the one eye that I've got. I was told all the time, Michael, you shouldn't fight because, you know, if anything happens to your good eye, you're going to go blind. And I was always like, well, lightning's not going to strike twice. You know what I mean? Like most people don't, you know, lose vision in their eye and detached retinas and stuff like that. It's very rare. It does happen in combat sports, you know, but it's rare that it happens. So it happened once. So I thought lightning ain't going to strike twice. And then after the Gastelum fight in Shanghai, I started having a lot of issues with my good eye. So I was like, all right. It's time to call it a fucking day, lad. Do you know what I mean? Talking of which, I've got 20 minutes and I've got to be on the Believe You Me podcast. So I'm going to have to wrap this up soon as well.
Did you know Rebecca made Mike breakfast just 12 hours after giving birth?
Did you know that? Where does it say that? Did you know Miss from Australia? Oh,
No.
Did you know Superwoman? I didn't. Yeah, I mean, she did. She made me breakfast straight after giving birth, straight after Lucas. If 19 is 19 too old to start MMA? No way. No, mate. 19, you're in your prime.
You wish you'd started.
You haven't even hit your prime. I didn't start MMA till 24, 25, something like that. Yeah, I did some martial arts as a kid, but a lot of it, you know, wasn't really applicable. Do I know a graphic designer? I know you have a graphic designer, but although maybe you might know someone who needs a designer, trying to get my talent out there, Mike. Well, listen, mate, just start designing some stuff and get it out there on social media. Put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, all that, and people will see it. If Vito was hanging off a cliff, would you save him? That's from the same guy that insulted the way that I dress.
I'm sorry, I zoned out then. What?
If Vito Belfort was hanging off a cliff,
Yes.
would I save him?
Oh, no, you would not.
No, I would. I'd save him, but I'd
You'd make him suffer.
Yeah, I'd definitely hang him. I'd give him a rope. Do you know what I mean? But as he started climbing up it, I'd feed the rope down the cliff so he never got any closer to the top. So he wouldn't die. Jesus, save me. And I'm like, yeah, Jesus is going to get you, buddy. He's coming. And as he's climbing, I'd just be feeding the rope further down. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fucking pray harder, dickhead. Yeah, I'd save him in the end. I'd probably take a piss on his head first as well. Sorry, Vitor, the wind. It's very windy by the cliffs. I was aiming for the penguins down there, but
I don't know how people can say you've gone Disney and corporate.
yeah, I know. How the fuck have I gone Disney and corporate? Shame on you. Should be shame on me. But I would save him, but I'd take a piss on his head first. There you go. I would. Who wouldn't? What do I think of Ian Gary's potential? I think Ian Gary has tremendous potential. Just tremendous. No, he had a great debut in the UFC. I'll be honest, I wasn't that overly familiar with him, in all, to be totally upfront. So I don't know him too well. But I know he had a tremendous, tremendous debut in the UFC, and I look forward to his rise. And good for him. Will I come to your wedding on June 12th? Danny Lopez. Send me an invite, son. You know what I mean? I'm not going to turn up if I haven't got an invite.
We never get invited to weddings.
Well, the last wedding, we went to a wedding recently, didn't we?
Did we?
Yes, we went to one in LA.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And guess what did I do?
You married them, babe.
I was the marrier.
The marrier.
Mike the marrier, as I'm known in certain circles.
Officiant.
I was the officiant, and I was terrified. It was for my agent, Mike Stout. Shout out, Mike. Hope you're well. And, so we had a lot of big time Hollywood bigwigs there, producers and agents and the like. And I'm fucking up the front. I'm like, oh my God, just don't fluff it up. Don't mess it up. Don't drop the rings, because I'm very clumsy. And they gave me the rings. I'm like, oh, I'm going to drop it. And then we were out on the beach. There was a big drop behind me. I'm like, can you imagine I drop the ring and it rolls off the fucking balcony and it disappears in the sand? I'm like, oh God.
You were so nervous.
I was nervous as hell. I was more nervous for that than what I was stepping into the octagon at times, because comfort zones and all that. But you got to test yourself, guys. You got to really put yourself out there. Do something that scares you every day. Shut the fuck up. Do something. They say that on Instagram, don't they? All these dickheads.
So stupid.
All these people that share memes.
Make your life crap.
Do something that scares you every day. Every day. Every day. Now and again, challenge yourself, push yourself, test yourself. But don't do death-defying stunts like hanging Vitor Belfort off a cliff every day. What was the Rocco rematch? Easy. It was the easiest fight of my life, to be fair. I don't think I got hit. All right, listen, babe, we got to go.
Sorry, I'm just reading the question.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad one, though.
Kind of want to know.
Yeah, God bless you and your family. Well, God bless you and yours. Thoughts on Garn versus Ngannou? You're too early for that one. Harry, shut up. You want to see Harry? Harry, come in. Harry, come on, Harry. Come here. Come here. Let me tell you something. They say dogs are like their owners. Come here, Harry. Come here.
He's scared of you.
No, he's not scared. He's just a little. This dog, Harry, old Harry here, only has one eye.
He does.
Only got one eye. Just like me. We've only got one eye. Because old Dito, our former German Shepherd, Harry was eating his food, wasn't he? And Dito, the German Shepherd, didn't take too kindly to it and give it a little snap. And then his eye came out of his head, didn't it?
It legit hung.
His eye was hanging out of his head.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
It was disgusting. It was bad. So then what they did, they pushed the eye back in and they sewed the eyelid shut for about a month, 2 months, something like that.
About a month.
And then they said when they unstitch it, the eye might pop out. And if the eye pops out, then we'll have to remove it. But fortunately, it stayed in the socket. And yeah, but now
he's blind in that.
He's blind in that eye. But he's a cute little bastard.
He doesn't bother him.
Well, he can't speak. Maybe
I know, but I could tell if it's bothering him. He doesn't like.
Harry, does it bother you?
Things.
Just cough if it bothers you. Don't make me look stupid, Harry. Does it bother you? Yeah, no, he can't talk, darling.
I know, but I know my dog.
You know your dog, do you? Conceive, believe, achieve. What would happen if you fought Khamzat Chimaev? Come on, bro. Guys, I got to go. Believe You Me podcast. Starting in 15 minutes. More talking, more nonsense. Anthony Smith joining us live on YouTube tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific. I'll give him to you. Rebecca, say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, do me a favor, subscribe and ring the bell. Make sure you stay up to all these lives. You know, a lot of people say, oh, man, I missed it live. Well, if you rang the bell, you'll get a notification, you know. And on that note, we're going to say bye. Cheers, guys. Take care.